such an asshole.
Hello, children. All right, we got one I had to sit down and think about. Like, oh, geez, the title alone is the perfect mental state, and stirring the pot for attention mutually exclusive. Not only does it sound like some kind of academic pablum, I think it's the longest title I've ever had. But then after thinking about it, wasn't I'm like, oh no, it isn't. It's kind of a like, oh yeah, it's seemingly complicated question, but after you think about it, it's not. So let's go through the request. Dear Cappy, is there a dichotomy or juxtaposition? I will say a mutual exclusivity or contradiction is the word I think you were looking for. Whichever word works between women's need for the perfect mental state and their need to stir the pot, often in order to feed their seeming addiction to the hormonal cocktail, which stirring the pot generates. You mean attention, okay, or drama. Video response, please, as it may help others with the same question. Thanks, and we'll keep you anonymous. All right. So first, I disagree with the premise that all women want to stir the pot for drama. A lot do, but not all. And I don't mean like I know this one girl. No, like most of the girls, I mean, I'd say half. It's half and half unnecessarily. Like, okay, what? No, go away. Bye. Oh, if I could tell my younger self, no, she's crazy. No, they do that. Just walk away. You have that right. You can walk away. I don't know why. It doesn't matter why. It's unacceptable behavior. But the other half, I didn't have like unnecessary drama. In fair defense of women. However, since you are going to run it, it's going to happen. Half the population, you're going to run into this. It is worth addressing, that it does happen. But in your particular question, does it contradict or would not the perfect mental state? I think what you're aiming at is, okay, a certain percentage of the female population wants attention. They'll go to the extent of creating drama because they will take the absolute value of attention, even if it's bad. I do it. I had, God, one gal screaming and throwing a temper tantrum on the high. Two, actually, now I think about it. One, because I didn't offer to buy her a soda when I was getting gas. I'll never forget it. You would say, okay, but that seems painful. Like that drama, that's not fun. Who likes stirring the pot? They can't possibly enjoy stirring. No, they like the absolute value. They take the absolute value. Any attention, you could be yelling and screaming at them. That's attention because you're still interested in them. Or it's nice and sweet and you're buying them flowers. That's attention. Or you're held hostage while she's screaming and pounding the window. You're like this captive audience. That's attention. But you would logically, and there's your fault, you would logically assume, well, wait, wouldn't such drama and stirring the pot go against the perfect mental state? Because if there's drama, one of the premises of the drama to happen is that there's something wrong. And the perfect mental state means there is nothing wrong. All right. However, where it's not that you're wrong, but where you fail to understand, the perfect mental state, I just came up with it, 6 months ago? It's a working theory. I think it explains things pretty well. The perfect mental state, the whole, and let me explain that for people who don't know what that is. The perfect mental state is kind of this law that no matter what happens, women will insist on maintaining a perfect mental state. Not necessarily perfect happiness, but contentment, ease, a perfect mental state. They're not euphoric. That's not what I'm going for. But they're good. Everything's right. And nothing is their fault. There's nothing for them to do. There's no obligation. It's like, no, I've done everything I could do. It's out of my control and I'm in the right. I guess you could even, a more simpler version would be that I'm right and I've done everything right. And there's nothing wrong. I can't be blamed. There's no criticism that can be laid upon me. And what I've realized is no matter how wrong they might be, in whatever capacity, majoring in the liberal arts, majoring in sociology, begging and pleading for a student loan bailout, that reality, if it interrupts their zen, that's the best way to put it. Their peace and quiet, their perfect little world in their mind. If anything in the real world dares threaten it, they will do acrobatics like the gal from the 80s did to convince themselves, nope, not my fault, not my problem. And giving you an example is majoring in something stupid, very easy, very dumb, going into debt for it, not working to pay it off, and then demanding to have a student loan bailout, but they're still a strong, independent woman. Okay. And that's just one example, but there will be instances in time where you're like, hey, if you don't lose weight, there's another one. Lizzo's a perfect example. Lizzo is in her perfect mental state, although accompanied by millions of dollars and the support and love of half the population anyway. But the reality is her obesity will kill her. I think we even had a couple fat activists, which similar example of the perfect mental state. I'm a fat activist. I think 2 gals under 40 in the past year passed away because of morbid obesity. I think they're like 3 or 350 plus pounds. And you could, the reality is you're going to die. I don't know if there's any more serious threat than your life ending, or you're going to financially cripple yourself for the rest of your life. You will never find a guy that you're physically attracted to. You need to major in engineering. You need to lose the weight. You need to whatever the logical, helpful, constructive advice is to help a girl. If it goes against what she wants, she will ignore it, and in her mind, using cognitive dissonance, will maintain the perfect mental state. I mean, Elkins' ex, Cuddle Wookums, we make fun of her. Her life is a wreck, a freaking wreck. She's poor, she's destitute, she's not healthy. We don't have to go and we're not mention names or anything. But she refused to get a real job, to support herself. She lives off of daddy, to be nice. That's another thing. If you're a mean person, you're only going to have mean or non-respect, self-respecting people in your life. And her life is a nightmare. But in her mind, she's right because she's got the right politics and she's a feminist and she has a master's degree. It's like a master's in literature. You're a moron. I think she works still as a barista. I'm not sure. But good luck getting through to her. So that's the perfect mental state. And the reason I give you examples and explain it is to realize that is the final destination, no matter what road you take when traveling down the paths of these particular women. No matter what you do, no matter what society and reality, there's a tornado coming, you better get out of the way. If they don't want to get out of the way, they're not going to get out of the way because the law of the perfect mental state is that they must maintain the perfect mental state at the expense of everything else, including reality, which is where you have a contradiction between reality and their, but they don't care. What uber alles, the primary directive, the number one imperative thing in their life is to maintain their perfect mental state, not their real life, not manage their life, not make decisions and work hard and fix up the house or anything like that. I don't know why someone's calling me. God, Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter. Well, hang on for 1 second. This might be something I have to We got a storm. That's why the internet has gone to shit. And there was a crisis. I'm going to murder everyone in the world. That's what I'm going to do. So, anyway, with the perfect mental state, that has to be adhered to over everything else, including reality. And since that is the final destination, no matter what you try to do, it doesn't matter whether or not a girl chooses to stir the pot to get attention via drama, whether a girl creates unnecessary drama. It doesn't matter, because whether it works for her or not in the real world, like she's causing, let's say a girl chooses to create drama so she could get her attention fix and she stirs the pot. If she gets the attention fix in the real world, okay, cool, she got it. If she doesn't because the guy ignores her, she will still rationalize it in her head. Well, he doesn't deserve me anyway. And well, I showed him. There's always a reverse rationalization. There's always some kind of Monday morning quarterbacking that goes back. And what does that maintain? The perfect mental state. Let's say she stirs the pot. The drama comes through. She gets her fix. All right. The guy reacts. The guy reacts um, in a way that hurts her feelings. He tells her the truth. She wasn't expecting it. He just really unloads on her. He says, "Oh, I was banging your friend." She will then rationalize it. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. That guy's a scumbag. He cheated on me with my best friend. My best friend's a whore. Da 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 da. It ends up in the perfect mental state. Um, she messes with the wrong guy. Agitates the wrong guy, creating drama with a guy with a short temper, an abusive personality. It's not her fault. That's not, now, of course, the guy does physical violence. That's not acceptable, and that's not her fault. But not kind of sussing that out and agitating the guy. And then, oh my God, I can't believe the felon attacked me. It's not I'm such a victim. It goes back to the perfect mental state. And so it doesn't matter whether they take the girl who doesn't stir the pot, who doesn't want drama. Right there, you're starting going into a mature mentality. All right. And there's where people, men included, take ownership, they take responsibility, they take agency. They don't live in la la land like, I deserve a bailout because of the evil white male Republicans in the Senate. They're not like, oh, geez, I imagined some stupid. I should have knocked that girl up. Or girls like, oh, yeah, I should stay thin if I want to attract a guy. I really need to major in accounting or become a nurse or something. Like, they want their real life to be congruent, to manifest as the perfect mental state. They stay in the real world. Their perfect mental state is a reflection of reality. Or they would even say there's no such thing as a perfect mental state 24/7. Is I got to work towards it and I'd be content and so there are some people out there like that, both men and women. But generally speaking, I have not. This is why I write books for men, because not all of you, by the way, not all of you, about a third of you will listen, whereas damn near 0% of women will listen. We get the occasional girl in here like, oh, thank you, prevented me. And I get thank you emails and all that. But if I were to add it up, I'd have to say we're talking less than 5% of the female population will listen to empiricism, reason, and evidence if it goes against what they want. Men, about a third of you would say, okay, it can't be because I'm Latino. I'm sick and tired of being poor. Everyone keeps telling me it's because of my race. No, I'm going to go do what an Atham does, major in chemical engineering. Oh my God, look, I got a job. You would say, okay, I'm wrong, got the wrong data. I'm going to set pride aside. So that's why. But it doesn't matter what actions would be causing pain or drama or some kind of cost that you actually incur in the real world. If a girl's addicted to the mental state, everything will be rationalized. I have 6 baby daddies. I'm sure there are some women out there that do have 6 baby daddies. Thankfully, it's not a majority, but there are women out there. Do you think for 1 second in their life that any of the pain that came along with those incredibly poor decisions, do you think they ever said, "Hey, wait a minute"? No, it's always some kind of other person's fault. And so it doesn't matter how painful the decision is in the real world, it never if anything, it gives license or gives a call to it. It commands the girl come up with a rationalization as to why it's not her fault and how they need to be bailed out, or other people not me got to do so. Or it's all bad luck and I'm so oppressed. Like that's so it's the perfect mental state is up here. All decisions, all choices, even with the bad ones that would otherwise disrupt the perfect mental state, you would think that's down here, that's in the real world. The perfect mental state, it cannot be disturbed. It is static. No matter, and it doesn't matter even what it's so powerful a mental for it's cognitive dissonance, a mental state. They're not going to get out of that mental state. They just won't. They'll live in ignorance into. So it doesn't matter how chaotic or how bad or how dramatic or whatever it is that goes on in the real world, whether women do it for attention or this or that or the other thing, it doesn't matter. The perfect state is never interrupted. And so the two are not mutually exclusive. So I'm sorry for that interruption. And of course, the internet slowed down. Just so tired of the internet not working. Factitious Lou, $2. Bring back the Bucky's hat or I'm unsubbing. It's upstairs. I got my Ford hat here. I wear different hats. I got my Snoopy hat. Hat and Clogs, $2. Cappy, hope, love, change, faith, joy, and peace. What are 6 names of girls that are going to end up having drug problems? That's hope, love, change, faith, joy, and peace. Yeah. Six names of kids with drug problems. That's hat and Clogs, $2. All words that Cappy lives by. Shark Toys, 10 generous dollars. Hey Cappy, just dropping by to check in on everyone's favorite uncle. Funny thing, a lot of your recent topics are in a book I sent you. Hope you have a good weekend. Wait, the one the Audible one. I'll have to get to it when I get to it. Oh yeah, 1985, $2. Walker Hall, $2. Male Perfect State 2, prawn weed video. Yeah, no, it's not exclusive to women. There are people. I mean, it's just that it's so much more common in women, I'd say, because men would rise to their look. Between reality and women, there's this thing called men, and we shield women from reality. It's like you don't want to fight those demons. You don't want to change your own tire. So I guess they have more opportunity. Because if we screw up, if we're delusional about the real world, we'll get killed. But you are 100% correct. We got the welfare state now too. The perfect male perfect state 2, prawn, weed, and video game. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not my fault. I'm gonna collect. Why should I try? Which I'm sympathetic to, but you got to try it something else. Oh yeah, 1985, 20 generous dollars. Captain A, keep up the good work. I've been following you for almost 10 years. And you've done a lot for me. Thank you. I've got some questions, so I'll send you an email soon. Yeah, please do. And there we go. All right, there we go. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.